So I'm gonna go for it. If you want to see what I'm canning up next, keep watching this video. Hi everyone, it's Chris here at Gardening at the Simon Getty North, and yes, I'm gonna go for it. I am going to make onion stock for the first time ever. I've been watching Heather's videos from the Needy Homesteader and studying up, and I was just at her house, I think it was about a week, probably 2 weeks now, when she had her onion stock going, and I'm going to follow her instructions on how to do it. So, thank you for showing up today. I'm very glad you're here. And if you want to see how I'm going to do it, following Heather's instructions, keep watching and we're going to get right to it. Look at these beautiful onions that I got from Jack's Fruit Market. These are huge Michigan candy onions. So we are going to go and get these washed up. We're going to take the root end off. We're going to quarter these up because they're so huge. And then wash them up and then put them in this stock pot. So let's go get step one done, is getting these cleaned up and ready for the stock pot. So you want to clean these really good under the skin, take the root off, don't put anything dirty in there, and just clean under the skin. I have 12 onions that I'm going to be putting in this stock. The red onion will give it some nice color. You can also use onion scraps. If you save your onion scraps, you can use them as well. And I'm just cleaning these and putting them in the clean bowl next to the sink here by the cutting board. All right, let's go take these to the stock pot. So the stock pot that I'm using is actually my electric ball water bath canner. That's what Heather was using. I've already put the thing in the stopper, so because there's a spigot, so the spigot's closed, so there's nothing that's going to go through the spigot. All right, let me get you set up here. Spigot's in the way. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the onions all in, skins and all. Like I said, if you save onion scraps and put them in the freezer, these can go in here. You can use green onions, scallions. You can put any vegetables you want if you want it to be more of a vegetable stock, but this is going to be an onion stock. I think I might throw in a couple celery stalks just to kind of give it that natural salty flavor. All right, let's just pour it in. So what I have in here is 12 onions between the red and the white candy onions, and cleaned really good and cut in half or quartered. I also cleaned the skins to make sure there was no dirt on them. And yeah, let me go get some water. I actually have my stock pot out in my pantry room, so I'm bringing water in. So let me start filling this up. Oops. Let me go get some more water. Okay, I'm going to add more water. Here is the max fill line, so we're going to fill it to there. All right, I got to get a little bit more water. All right, perfect. All right, so next we want to add a heaping tablespoon of salt. I'm using Redmond's real salt. A heaping tablespoon of peppercorns. I'm going to throw in a couple bay leaves, 2 heapings of turmeric powder. This will give it a nice color, and also for anti-inflammatory properties. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give it its initial stir, because pretty much after this we won't be stirring it. So what I'm going to do is I already have this on high, and I'm going to let it get to not a boil, but just before boil, and I'm going to crank it down to low, and we're going to let it simmer for 24 hours and then can this tomorrow night. So, all right, I wanted to get a couple celery stalks in there. Hold on. All right, I'm just going to put a couple celery stalks in here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on, and then, like I said, I'm going to wait for it to come to almost a boil, not quite, and then I'm going to turn it down, and we're going to simmer for 24 hours. So, okay, we're starting to get little bubbles, so I am going to turn the heat down on low for 24 hours. Well, good morning, guys. Here is about a 12-hour update on the stock. And I found out my ball shut off on its own, even though I didn't use the timer. So I had to turn it. It was still hot, so it must have just turned off, but I had to get it back up to temperature. And now we're rocking and rolling and getting ready to can this up tonight. But check that out. All right, I go ahead and put the lid back on, and we'll see you when this is ready to can up. So it's pretty much been 24 hours. The onion stock is ready to be canned up. I have vinegar here with paper towels to wipe the rim. I have the cheesecloth here. This is the one that Heather uses. And what I did was I cut some off, and then I wet it down so the broth would not, soak into the cloth instead of going through it. And I got my lids and rings over there in the corner. They've been washed in hot soapy water and dried. And now I need to just go get the jars and turn the canner on to make sure that that is hot, because we're putting in hot broth, going into hot jars, into a hot canner. So that's where we're at. Be right back. Okay, I've put my funnel on, and I have the dampened cheesecloth on here into a warm jar. Move my lid. All right, so let me show you what the broth looks like. So see how clear and transparent it is? I am just going to slowly scoop without disturbing a whole lot of the broth, and then putting it through the cheesecloth here. So let me set you back down. And then just do that. I'm going to do 6 quart jars, and then anything after that I'm going to do in pints. hot jar there. And you can see the broth. Oh, I gotta wipe the rim. It's just vinegar and a paper towel, white vinegar. Even though with the funnel you can still get broth on here. We don't want to risk losing the seal. Fingertip tight. That one's ready to go in the canner. Let me bring this one here. And let me scoot you up so you can see it better. Fingertip tight. All right, I'm gonna go put those two in the canner and come back with more dough. Move it around a little, but you don't want to like squish it and force it through. What I plan on doing with these onions that I have in the stock pot, I'm going to pull them out while I clean the pot, and we are going to start a beef bone broth with them. So that'll be the next project. Fingertip tight. All right, I'm gonna go put those in the canner and I'll be back. All right, those are all ready for the canner. Okay, I'm gonna crank up the heat, and we are gonna wait for this to start venting a clear stream, and then once it starts a constant stream, then we're gonna set the timer for 10 minutes and let that stream for 10 minutes. Okay, we're getting a constant stream here. You can hear it, it's constantly making that noise. We're gonna set the timer for 10 minutes and let it vent for 10 minutes. Okay, we're at 10 minutes. I'm going to shut the timer off. Put the weight on for 10 pounds. Make sure you check your altitude, but for my altitude, it's 10 pounds. Phew, that was loud. All right, so now we're just going to wait for everything to get up to temperature and wait for that to start doing the hula dance. Okay, we're ready to set the timer. I am following the vegetable stock processing times from the Ball Blue Book, and it says for quarts is 35 minutes. So I'm setting the timer for 35 minutes. So we only have a few minutes left, and I just wanted to say you don't want this jiggling all the time. You do want this to take breaks every once in a while. So it's kind of on a break right now. It's getting ready to start doing the hula dance again, and then it should calm down for a little bit and back and forth. I don't think anyone tells you that in these videos when you're trying to learn how to pressure can, and that was my issue that I was running my canner too tight because I was so focused on this and not so much on how much this was jiggling that I had this constantly jiggling, and you don't want that. Even though my gauge was at the right spot, that was constantly jiggling and causing siphoning. So you do want that to calm down. So yeah, just wanted to throw that in there. So see how now it's going back again, jiggling, doing that nice little hula dance. So that's kind of how you want your canner to run. You don't want it to run too hot because that will cause siphoning, and you don't want that. So, you know, I'm learning along with probably most of you, and Heather has been teaching me a lot on how to pressure can, and I've been consulting her because I really want to do this correctly and also show you guys how to do it correctly. And we're down to 30 seconds left on the canner, and yeah. But the more you pressure can, the more you'll get used to it, the more you'll get more comfortable with it. I've pressure canned more this year than I ever have in my entire life. All right, so we have come to the 35 minutes. I'm going to shut the timer off. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to shut the heat off. And we're going to let this cool down by itself. So we want the gauge on here to come down to 0 all by itself. The gauge or the weight's going to stop doing its jiggling, doing the hula dance. It already has stopped. And we're just going to let this cool down. So it's going to probably take about a half hour. And then once that cools down, then I'll crack the canner and just open it a little bit, like just open it a little and just let some of the steam out and let it cool down for about 5 or 10 more minutes before I take the lid off and start pulling the onion stock out to cool on the counter. So we'll be back when I start putting it on the counter. So here are the 7 quarts that were just processed. I am going to do some pints, and I'm not sure what I'm going to end up with, but at the very end of this video I'll show you the total amount of onion stock that I have between quarts and pints. If you do pints, it's 30 minutes. If you do quarts for vegetable stock, it's 35 minutes. So just so you know, it's a little bit different than chicken stock and beef broth and beef stock. So just yeah, I think they turned out very well. They look clear. I don't want to touch them, they're very hot, but maybe I'll do some close-ups when they're cool at the end of the video and do a clear test and see how clear they are, if they meet Heather's standards for clear broth. So hopefully I did well. I didn't have any siphoning, and I used the cheesecloth that she used, and I think I did well. I don't see anything floating in there, so we'll see. I'll send her a picture and see what she says, or maybe she'll even watch the video. Well, if you like this video, please smash that like button. Smash that like button. And share this video with anybody who might be interested in learning how to do onion stock. You know, like I said, I did get this recipe from Heather. This was her thing, and encouraged me to try it. And you know, I watched her videos from like 4 years ago, and then the one she just had a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I was gonna wait till winter, but why wait till winter? I did it now. So there it is. Thank you for stopping by. I'm sure glad you did. And yeah, God bless. Happy canning. Bye. So the jars are cooled and they're washed up, and I just need to label them. But look how clear this is. I don't see any I don't see any impurities in there, anything floating. I think I did it. Here's one of the quart jars. Nice and clear. All right, so that's what we ended up with. And next up is bone broth. See you at the next one.